Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to show you on how to create functions, functions in JavaScript. So I suppose that in our class we have done a number of programming earlier. So this is just a quick revision on how to create function. Now, why do we want to create function in the first place? Is because we want to make sure our code, is consistent and easy to maintain. Okay, so in order to create a function in JavaScript, all you need to do is you have to first decide that this is a function. Okay, my subline text already helped me to generate this code, so you can now put in a function name. All right, type in a function name. You can say this is my function 01, and you can put in depending on how many arguments you want. I have 2 arguments, and this is where you put in the operation that you want. In this case, I want to do like a multiply b, right? So in order to call these functions, we will just call it, and then you put in 2 values. In this case, I can put in a 5, maybe a 6 here. All right. Now, if I run this program, you won't be able to see anything because it is like a factory. You can imagine that, right? You have 2 input, and then this guy will return you something. In this case here, I need someone or a variable, something, to actually hold the results. Okay, result, I call it res. I mean, to make the thing less complicated, I just use a full word here, result. And then you can use console.log and print out results. Now then, you will see that this multiplication can work. Now, this shows us one very interesting thing, is that we can choose not to display to capture the output when we invoke the function. Okay, sometimes we call it the invoke or execute the function, so we can choose. Now, why we say it's ease for maintenance. Now, for example, imagine you have let's say another part of the code that doing something similar. Okay, let's say it's doing something similar. All right, let's see, we save this and then we run this. You can see this is 3036. Yeah, this cool guy. So if I were to change this to plus, I can just change one single place, plus. Yeah, then if I run again, then these two will be converted nicely. So let me change this a little bit easier for you to see. Let me see. Okay, let me say something like that. You can actually have more places, maybe more than one places, have different value. Yeah, maybe it's 8. You can see they are all add together. Sorry. Now, if you want them to be minus, so you can just only change one place. So this actually increase the maintainability of the code. Yeah, so everything just change accordingly, and you only have one single point to deal with. Now, of course, we can also have functions like, for example, function display. Now, this display function, for instance, that we're going to take in anything you want to display as output. Yeah, and we're going to call this console.log output. So in other words, we just kind of like want to wrap this function. So in as such, you can actually have functions inside functions. Like, for example, this result, I can call this, instead of calling console, I can call this, right? If I run it, so you can see the answer here. Let me change it back to multiply. Yeah, so, and if you see carefully, this one is actually redundant. In other words, you can actually put this entire function inside. So as such, you can still get the correct answer, which means this function will be triggered, executed, or invoked to get the answer, and then it will return you, and straight away put inside the output and trigger the display function, and this is why you get a correct answer. So now you know that the function can choose or not to return. Yeah, to return or not to return is This, like for example, this one, there will be no return, and this function will be returning something simply by the return keyword. Similarly, when you trigger a function or invoke a function, it is not necessarily that you must have something to capture the output. Yeah, to capture the output. If there's no return, you don't have to worry about it. If there's a return, if you never put anything to retrieve the output, it is fine as well. So it doesn't really give you it won't give you any error. For instance, this function call, it won't really give you any problem or errors. All right, and another thing is, bear in mind that this parameter, you can put in as many as you want, but usually we try not to do something like this. This is actually a very bad practice because nobody knows what are these ABC. So usually you need to use a more easy to understand identifier, which means other names. Yeah. So for example, first value, second value instead. Yeah. If not, then it's very difficult for people to maintain your code, and of course your function can be always more complicated than what I have shown here. Other than that, there are also some functions, like for example console.log. All right, this log is a function which is already default available. Let me give you another example. Let's say, for example, there's this math library, yeah, dot, I think you can call random function. Okay, let me see if you can do that. Console.log. Let me see if we can do anything here. I can see that. So these one are all already pre-built in the JavaScript. So now you can see I can generate random numbers. So other than dots, there are quite a number of functions that you can do. Let me show you. Maybe we should check out JavaScript maths. You can see this JavaScript math object. Okay. Yeah, you can see there are loads of functions that you can do, like for example round, ceiling, floor, truncate. Yeah, so you can see you don't have to implement them, you can just call them because they are actually implemented already. This math library is actually already pre-built inside, so it's actually very straightforward to use. Okay, so I hope this is a good revision for you. Okay, see you in next video. Thank you.